Yes. Okay. So I'm going to dive into books, guys, so that we can get through this. So the reading schedule has been released. You guys saw this. We did chapters 1 through 5 for this. And I love that you guys picked this book. I think I had said this to you before. I was not sure what you would pick. I actually thought you might have picked Everything's Fine, which I also loved. Stash was a big choice, and Be Gone too. But what's really interesting is this really did win by a landslide, which I also think makes us love Christine and Joe. Yes. Oh my gosh. You guys are drinking Ray and Nephew mango margaritas. Oh my gosh. Well, pour yourselves a drink. It's 8:00 on a Tuesday and you deserve it. Okay? So I'm going to start off by saying, this is going to be a really interesting read. This is the story of Daisy, Cinnamon, and Little Bluebell. Daisy and Cinnamon both have led really hard lives, I think, and a lot of that informs like who they are, who they're pretending to be, and who they're not. Pour it up, guys. Pour it up. And as we were so blessed, and we're kind of doing things differently now because we did this book as Alicia's saying this book was so intimate and emotional to me. It really was. It really, really was. But what I love about it, and Bernita's saying she listened to it on Audible. I've sort of done both. I've listened on the Audible and also, hold on, I think my chain is a little bit backwards. And I've also read it. But again, we have this, we got to speak to Joe and Christine, but we're introduced through these first 5 chapters to Daisy's story and Cinnamon's story. And I think, what's really interesting about it is you've got young Daisy, who's lived a very, very hard life. She has grown up like very poor. She lost her mother really young and ended up being raised by her grandparents in an interesting environment, of which we will learn more. And Cinnamon, I forgot to mention this, and I think this is a key point in this. This is obviously, because Joe and Christine always do this to us, a very black and white book. Not only were you talking about motherhood, but we are talking about... You guys think I have a halo? That's funny. I see what you're saying. Oh my gosh, that's fine. T-Squared, don't worry if you're behind at all. Don't worry. This is why, we started off slow with chapters 1 to 5. And oh my gosh, it sounds like she lost her mom in Lake Lanier. Leo 14 me just said, that's so interesting. Sounds like she lost her mom in Lake Lanier. But yes, Daisy lost her mom at a very young age. She was basically an infant. She had to be raised with, thank you, Candy Cane. She had to be raised by her parents, okay? Her grandparents, who were not that caring. They didn't want this baby. Also, Cinnamon. Cinnamon's story as well is one that was very difficult. Her mom ran off, right? Her mom I think her name is Margot. She just sort of took off. And we don't know what happened to her. We've never really figured that part out in these first 5 chapters. But her mom ran off and she was raised by her grandmother. And then her grandmother died. Okay. Simply last, we are reading, if someone can type it for me, and then I'll pin the comment. We are reading the book, You Are Always Mine. We are on chapters 1 to 5. So if you have not started, you can totally catch up. A lot of people are behind. This is like an easy way. And I'm going to try not to go as deep as I do into it because I did get a couple of messages that people are behind. It's been a tough summer. We're busy. Thanks, Style and Savings. I'm pinning your comment right now. But let's talk about Cinnamon and Daisy and let's get started because I feel like I'm interested in, and I always find people who have holy stories or incomplete stories or like who have made up these lives and managed to fool people. And that is totally Daisy and Cinnamon. So let's talk about them sitting on this bench. Cinnamon basically now has grown up. She was homeless, like you say. She was in foster care with all these different families, white families, predominantly, who were, a lot of people who go into foster care, they're very altruistic people. They want to take it was hard reading the first 50 and not continuing. I know there's so much to unpack, you guys. They want to take care of people, but they also do it for a little bit of financial gain. And I'm not saying that about all people. I think there's very altruistic, but I think that's part of the thing about why foster care is so up and down and so risky. And so many people have different experiences going through it, which I think also when we look at Cinnamon, right? She's now married, she's settled down, but she is conflicted about whether or not she wants to be a mother because of her experience going through foster care, because she was abandoned by her mother, because she was raised by this aunt who didn't really give a damn about her at some point. But as Candy Cane is saying, as we get into the relationship between Daisy and Cinnamon, who are strangers, they met on a park bench. MC 1006, I'm going to come back to that prologue because I definitely have some chapters that I want us to read. But my thing about these two people is, and we all know the story, both of their lives are a lie, Daisy and Cinnamon. So as we go into talking about Cinnamon, right, we know that she grew up, she had a couple of special people in her life, the Reverend, right, who sort of took her in. There were some instances that she could remember where she was homeless or just trying to get out there, where, she had people who were very kind to her, in particular this Reverend person who was in Atlanta and helped her get an apartment and live above the church. And then she met her husband, Jason. And this is where in the comments you can see Lynette's talking about Candy Cane, the lies. She lied about everything. She lied about going to Spelman. She sort of created this life. And I always think it's so interesting how people can do that. It's their lives start, if they have no family, no history, how does someone vouch for you? People who have no social media, that is exactly Cinnamon. But she managed to sort of pull herself up. Yes, homelessness. It makes everyone really, it's a life that unless you've lived it, it is dangerous. It is threatening. It is really exactly Bernita Cooper saying she had to be exhausted living a lie or not. So sometimes people say they don't even know, once the truth is so buried, they don't know how to be. So Kiana is saying the lies will eventually become too much, or you start to believe your lies. I did go to Spelman. I did do all these things. So, and I want to hone in on Cinnamon because she is super interesting to me. Craig Carla is saying she presented well. And I will say, Craig Carla, I'm not sure if this is what you're meaning, but presented well. Cinnamon is also, the authors describe her as super beautiful, right? Very beautiful. It was that one thing. So when she met her husband, Jason, there was that scene where they went out to dinner and she's eating this fancy steak and he loved it because he was like, man, this girl just likes to eat. That's so great. But yeah, there was nobody to say yes or no. She had this estranged relationship, but the lie piece to me was so interesting. And there's a piece in here where I think she starts off the book talking about, hold on a second. Cinnamon Hayes. So this is it. Steak and Lobster, you guys. Oh, the shame of not being wanted. Thank you. Dance by Fitness. This is what I'm going to say. On chapter 1, Cinnamon Hayes can't remember when she stopped wanting things in life. When she was younger, she was filled with longing for silky straight hair that would slide off her shoulders or bright white rollerblades with pink wheels. And it's part of it that she was talking about. Perhaps her strongest longing was for her mother to come back from where she disappeared to when Cinnamon was barely out of diapers, leaving her with her 62-year-old grandmother. And so it's this thing where I feel like Cinnamon had to battle this idea of not being wanted and not feeling deserved. So as we fast forward to where she meets Jason, right, her husband, and she's like, I finally have someone who kind of is expressing interest in me. She was just like, well, I just better take it and be the Stepford wife that he wants her to be, right? Bernita's even talking about the abandonment. And so that just, I think, left her having a lack of self-esteem. And sort of the lies that she had to facilitate to even make her think that she was worthy of this husband of hers, right? Really, really interesting. Yeah. So it's I forgive. Obviously we forgive her. The lies she's creating for the life she wished she had. Yeah. And I think she did exactly that. She created a persona that could fit into Jason's because she didn't know. There's a line in there where she talks about she's trying to pretend to be the wife she needs to be. but she had no model. She was like, I just saw it on TV. Where was I ever supposed to see what that would look like for someone, right? And so she fell in love with Jason because he made her feel wanted for the first time. And you know what? Lisa Kay is saying she fell in love with Jason because he made her feel wanted for the same time. What does that mean? And is that what love is supposed to be? I don't know if she's weak or super strong, Trap. I'm sorry. I don't know if she's weak or super strong because of what she had to overcome. Do we forgive her lies? Do we just again go, which is it? She fell into Jason's shadow. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to say, guys, as we jump all over the place today, because now Jason's sort of coming up, but it's intermingled with who Cinnamon is. And my biggest thing is right here, I just want an emoji. Let's talk about Cinnamon. How do we feel about her right now? You know? Because I knew I was going to bring Jason into this. But are we like, give me some Cinnamon love. You know, are we loving her or are we not? Here's a question. When we start relationship, don't we all pretend a bit? Ooh, see me rolling. Let's talk about that. I mean, I do think we all pretend. But I think Cinnamon was really creating somebody who she wasn't. And okay, people are giving emoji, the cringe. They're not sure if they love. Okay, Stylish Sheeta likes her. I get it. Okay. Teary-eyed with a heart. We like her so far. I do like her. I feel like she's a survivor. She had to do what she wanted to do and to be what she needed. And she's sort of, I have an understanding of Cinnamon. I do too. I really do too. I feel for her, so I do have empathy for her. And she's a survivor. I can't imagine. But I do feel like, and part of me is what Ned Zani was saying. Limes Baroque, thank you for bringing that in. That reminds me of the character of Ruby. She just wanted to feel loved. And I do feel for her. She's sweet. She's doing the right thing. And I think that nails it. I am Paula Kay says, we show up as our best representative, doing the best we can. Okay. Now, coming back to this lie thing, because I think we're all super righteous and whatever, I do feel like I don't know if she's living a lie. She definitely created a persona, but I think she is holding true to who she is. So maybe that is new Cinnamon. You know, she put her past behind her. She made up a past, but she goes to work every day. She has this job. I am Chris Bello is saying she's sweet and she empathized what happened to her, but she is not telling the truth. But does it matter if she presents herself now to her husband being this person? Right? Like, is she this person that she's made up for her? Is that okay? We'll find out. But yes, I do think the lies catch up. Okay, I'm going to pause right now and I'm going to take a sip of my wine and talk about Jason. All right, because a lot of us know the Atlanta bit, and I feel like Jason is totally this Atlanta guy, right? So she meets her husband, he sort of takes her in, they go on this date, and she decides in order for her to feel safe that this is going to be the man for her. She's beautiful, she's all these things, and oh Lord, Jason, oh Lord. Now, Jason has her husband. I kind of liked him at first because I wanted her to find some sort of safe haven. She's married. As the story starts, she's like, oh, well, you know, I have a little modest home, but I can call it home. He proposed to her. He was like, I'm going to take care of you. But I don't love Jason, you guys. Oh, Miss Yellowbella, is Jason white or light skinned? I knew he wasn't white. I knew he was black, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, okay. Here's the thing. Cinnamon picked someone who could put a roof over her head and marry her. She wanted stability, because she had never had that. He was strong and forceful, and basically he was like, I'm going to get this girl. And like you guys said, she wanted someone to want her. Now, Jason. You know, he's definitely a brother. So you know what happens in this first book is that she talks about this betrayal. And what I love about this also is when we think about like the types of betrayals, you guys, when you talk about the betrayals that exist in a relationship, this guy. So chapters 1 to 5, and no spoilers, you guys, it's in there. She's saying, we've been married for several years. She moved from Atlanta to Sibley. It's a smaller town. I don't know. Does Sibley really exist, you guys? I'm not even sure about it, but as she goes through, she said, Jason did this tragic thing. She couldn't believe it. He came home one day and was like, I have to tell you something. So I thought he was going to cheat. Didn't you guys all think that it was a big cheat thing and he cheated or something? But what he did do, and this is why I was like, it felt so Atlantis fraudster, guys. Basically, he took all of their savings, every single penny, and sunk it into something and basically lost it, right? Oh, T squared. Could Jason be her karma? That is interesting of a comment. I didn't know what he did, y'all. Miss Yellow Belly is saying he thought he had a baby on the side, but basically he took all of their money and lost it and squandered it into this thing, and it's all gone. And I totally thought it was going to be adultery, but I actually liked that it was sort of financial adultery. Is it financial adultery? Financial something? There's some word there, and I've definitely heard it. I did a Money Moves episode on financial adultery or something, and that's exactly what he did. Yes, but yeah, we're not a fan of Jason or this. The betrayal is money. The betrayal is money. And here's the thing. Even Cinnamon said, she's like, you know what? It would have been maybe more palatable for her to get over like some sort of random one night stand, but the financial infidelity is what broke her, because we know what she was there for was the stability. Yeah. And she definitely said that. So that's sort of Cinnamon and Jason's story. But let's stop there and bring in Daisy, because I don't think we've gotten to talk to her. And I want to read, we haven't even got to the baby part, but we're just sort of talking about people. There's a piece I wanted to read about Daisy in particular. So Daisy is a young woman. There would have been money left to split in a divorce. Yeah. Yes. And I think it was so triggering for her that, you don't even know what to do with it. Okay. So is there anything else that we want to bring into Cinnamon and Daisy's story right now? Or Cinnamon and Jason's story? Or do you want to sort of dive into Daisy for a minute? Super triggering. Okay. Daisy. So sweet old Daisy. Daisy is a young teenager growing up in like rural wherever to very racist grandparents. Her mom died when she was a baby and toddlers. I know. My heart goes out to this girl because you just see, right? Her mom died in a quarry accident. So someone brought up Lake Lanier. Felt about the same in her small town. She went swimming drunkenly with friends and never came back. Super, super, super sad story. And, she grew up with these redneck, racist, Ku Klux Klan grandparents who never wanted her, never loved her, and just fed her like racist vitriol like every day of her life. She had nobody. She was kind of overweight, sort of good in school, not really. And she had like one friend. We find out about Caleb. Okay. So that one friend was very special to her. And at some point she leaves town. She and Caleb run away. It is so sad. Your heart goes out to this girl, Gramps, guys. Can you imagine? Oof. But she and Cinnamon meet very serendipitously on a park bench. Cinnamon has her routine. She's a school counselor, so she works around kids. She's trying to give back, right? And they meet because they just sort of happen to sit on a bench one day, start chatting. And I think their friendship forms over about a year, where they know Every Friday, they're going to meet on that bench and sit and talk for an hour. And it's the routine. They look forward to it. They like it. Style and savings, that's a great question that I cannot wait to ask the authors now that how do you think that someone like Daisy manages not to be racist like her grandparents? I mean, having gone through all this Black Lives Matter stuff where we see, that racism is really taught, I just think her soul was above it. And I do believe that kids are smarter than that, Yeah. So the book starts off where Cinnamon's like, I haven't seen Daisy for 3 weeks. Someone in the comments also talked about how did she not know old girl was pregnant under there? So either she was like so big that she could hide it and she just got bigger and bigger. But it is a really interesting question. But I also think that we hope that the next generations, are just smarter and able to learn. Fee Babes is saying because it wasn't in her heart. And you know what? I don't think this is a spoiler, but there is parts in it where she's like almost surprised. She'd never met a Black person before, but when she met Cinnamon, right? Cinnamon was this amazing person, or a small pregnant tummy. She had to hit it. Cinnamon, okay, and this is how we get into how they sort of show their lives. These two people, and I also found this really fascinating when you get an opportunity to present yourself as the person you want to be. So these two strangers had no connections. They didn't exchange Facebooks or Instagram so that they could see what they did with their real life. They just got the opportunity to meet on a bench every week and pretend to be who they wanted to be. Pretend to have this life. Pretend to be Daisy and be like, I want to go to flight school. Cinnamon could pretend she came from this beautiful family. And that's who she told Daisy she was. And that is why Daisy left her baby with Cinnamon, because she saw Cinnamon as this person from a good family with an aunt and a husband who worked at a school. And she just said, I have never seen anything like this. And this is who I want to raise my baby. Yeah, exactly. Love Kerr is saying, I wish I know how people could meet the old school way. Now it's like you get someone's name and they're like, cool, let me Google you. Give me your Instagram. Actually, I feel like now when you meet people in generally, I took my niece to the pool today and I met this lovely lady at the pool with her kid. And so she was like, we'd love to do another pool day or whatever. And it's instant. Like, do we give each other's numbers or do you exchange Instagram so you can go back and see who this person was 3-4 years ago? But part of the comfort in this is they got to they didn't think their paths would ever cross like this. They got to present who they wanted to be, right? And I think that was some really beautiful for it, although marred in lies and untruths. Okay. Wait, Craig Carl is also saying, thank you for checking me on that, girl. Not everything you post or anyone posts on Instagram necessarily means it's real. Okay, but fast forward to the fact of the matter. Daisy doesn't show up for about 3 weeks. And Cinnamon is like, where did she go? I don't have her number. I have nothing about her. I hope she's okay. She's sitting on the park bench and she hears like a mewing. This comes after she has one of these crazy days where, she wakes up, she's chatting with her husband, he's going on a trip, and there's this ominous foretelling of a bird ends up in her kitchen. Did you guys think that was weird? The bird thing? But anyways, I just liked that interesting little piece where this bird is on her kitchen. And she hears this mewing. That little cute baby noise. And she hears mewing and she sees behind the bushes where she's sitting a baby. A baby. Crazy. All of it was just like an interesting piece. So, and I'm going to go back to where the mewing is. But it's basically on chapter 3 where she's like, her first inclination is to laugh. It's completely inappropriate. But then what is the right response to finding a baby tucked in some bushes like Moses floating down the Nile? The preposterous scenario has short-circuited Cinnamon's brain, but a more apt reaction kicks in seconds. Panic. Okay. This is why we love Christine and Joe books, because a Black woman just found, in Ghana, we would say it was juju. Oh my God, I heard if a bird flies into the house, it means someone's going to die. Really? Okay, don't tell me that because that freaks me out a lot. mostly because you guys know I love my birds, and I have my bird feeder that's like hung right by these big patio doors, and I'm always afraid that one day a bird is going to come in, but I do feel like birds talk to us. That bird told her something. Anyways, so to her credit, like the infant is just staring at her, and it's this cute little white baby. Now this is where the story begins, y'all. A black woman finds an abandoned, cute as a button little baby. That baby is white with blue eyes. Now, I want to say something right now. I'm going to go a little bit off topic. Have any of you guys been following the news of the young woman in Alabama who saw a baby walking down the interstate, pulled over, and then was mysteriously vanished? And here we are reading a book about a baby left as a prop or whatever, abandoned. What is the right answer now, guys? Because I feel, come on. Did you guys hear about this? Did you guys hear about this? It's all over the news in Atlanta because it happened in the South. And hold on a second. I'm getting parched, you guys. It was a big deal. And I mean, it, as we segue, but bear with me, it threw me for a loop because I promise you, if I saw that, I would be the one that would pull over. So now it is this whole thing where it's like, do you pull over? Like, how do you know you can help people? And yes, and we haven't actually heard what happened. You know, they've been very quiet because I think they're trying to catch the person, right? And, you know, they don't want to say too much. And like, you know, anyone who knows, like if you've watched Gone Girl, any true crime, Jen Cliff just said she's true crime. She was found. I think part of it is because we had so much dialogue and like conversation about it. I think it actually spooked her kidnappers and they gave her back alive. Anyways, the point of this is it made me think, like, if I saw a baby behind a bush, do you keep your distance? Do you automatically get on the phone? But she did call the police. You guys, it's such a crazy conundrum. But here we are, and this is how Cinnamon gets her baby. So as Cinnamon gets this baby, you know, there were no other sightings of the baby. Yeah. As Cinnamon finds the baby, basically she's like, what do I do? So she picks up the baby, she puts the baby in her car, and she's like, okay, I guess I gotta like take this to the police. And you know, she calls a couple people, she rifles around, and then she finds the note. Because at first she just thinks it's a white baby, right? And I'm going to read Cinnamon's note for a second. Before Cinnamon even lifts to read it, she knows this isn't a good sign. No one leaves a note with a baby they plan to come back for. Her muscles first tighten, rigid and stiff, and then just as quickly release so that her entire body is liquid. It's the shock of seeing her own name right there on top. Please, Cinnamon, please. Love, Daisy. You're the kind of mother my daughter needs. You come from good people who raised you right, and I know you'll do the same for my little girl. You'll give her all the things I can't. And this is how the story starts. On these false pretenses of you come from good people who will raise her right. You'll do the right thing. Take my baby. Okay, you guys. I need you to weigh in on this because this is where the story gets crazy. She calls two people, and everybody from the very beginning of the book, I would have freaked out too, because now Kiana is saying, I would have freaked out, being like, well, what happens? How is this working? What are we doing? And everybody assumes, every single person, that this black woman found an abandoned black baby, right? Right? Not Lucia, not this, but yeah. I mean, this is also what I love. I also want to ask the question here, what would you guys have done? Like in this moment, the first day, would you take the baby home? What would you do? Okay, Fee Baby is also saying the call from Reverend at that exact moment. Yes, girl. Yes. Okay, Fee Baby, you want to talk about this? I'm going to see your request. Come in this live. Let's hope this works. Sometimes the double lives work, sometimes they don't. I hope it's gonna work. I'm trying to get you in here, girl. There you are.
Oh my goodness.
Come on. Oh, don't worry about your hair. Mine's dripping wet down my back too. Hi. Okay, Fee, welcome to
Hi.
book club.
I
Please tell
know.
us your whole name and where you're calling
Hey,
from.
my name is Felicia.
What
I'm
up,
calling from Ohio,
Ohio?
actually. Hey. Oh my goodness, I did not know. I'm sitting up here, have the book,
Good.
eating
I
some
love.
popcorn,
Listen,
just
this
like
is what I
listening.
love about books. I love when people act, and sometimes I'm never sure. Like, did people read it? Did this? Okay, so I want to know, sis. You're a black woman. You're in the park. You see a baby. What would you do?
Right. I don't know. Like, I would be like her. I would be freaking out. I'm like, okay, is this a joke? Looking around, doing everything that she did. Um, but then after everything that she did, pretty much, because you're about to take the
The
baby to
police station?
the
Like, where does the baby go?
the
Child services?
right. Exactly, but so then you think about that, but I understand her side of it because she came from foster care. So she's thinking something differently now. Like, I don't want to have the baby go through that, but she's like, oh, it's a little white baby,
Yep.
so it'll be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? That part. But then getting the
Oh
call
yes,
from the
people were
reverend,
saying that. Like, that's
it makes you
literally like
think,
a
like,
message from God.
yes, yes, yes. And I'm like, I'm a church girl, so I'd be like, oh my goodness, this is a sign.
But Reverend
Well, let me go home
also
and think
did
about
not
it.
assume
So
that that baby was
I,
white. Remember what Reverend said? He was like, "Don't
right,
give the
when he was
baby
saying
back.
his
We're
thing, yeah,
always
when he
giving our
said,
baby back to these white people." And she's like, "Oh,
yeah, she's like, yeah, like, he is white. Yeah, so I don't know. I would take the baby home to think about it and see.
the
I mean,
note would the
and go
note
from
have
there.
changed your
I
opinion
don't
that
know.
it was actually Cinnamon, Daisy, who was like, take care of this baby. Like, I orchestrated this. You know what I mean? I feel like that twisted.
That would that would make me want seeing the note is just like, okay, yeah, now I'm
Mm-hmm,
gonna try to abide by her. You know what I'm saying? Obviously something was going on. I
mm-hmm.
don't know her that well. I'm lying, she's lying, you know. So I'm gonna do my best to take care of this baby for her, because Daisy could have just took the baby to the police
Yes.
station too. You know what I'm saying? But she trusted it with Cinnamon, thinking, she had this great life, so just on that note alone, I would have to,
Okay.
like,
I have a
hold
question
on
for
to
you
the
since I
baby
have
for a
you on
minute.
here, and I want you guys to drop the answer in the comments. Did anyone miss the fact? Like, I feel like I should reread this. Was Daisy like watching in the wings to see if her baby was picked up by the right person? Did anyone miss that? Like, I feel like that.
No, didn't
Yeah,
she
but like,
run away? Didn't
so
she
she
just
what
hop on a
if
bus or
Cinnamon
something
didn't
like
show
that?
up? Like,
I know.
okay, because I was like,
I
I
know.
kept thinking, did I miss that or something? So Daisy just basically put the baby
I think
there,
so.
knowing that Cinnamon would probably come, but what if she didn't?
Yeah, because she knew her schedule. Because she knew her schedule, so it was like clockwork. So then I guess that's why she figured that's when she would do it. And it was on a Friday, wasn't it? On Friday when she was supposed to meet her. So she just put, like, oh, she's here all the time, so she's gonna be here for.
Yes,
But who's to say she would have heard the
that's my
baby
thing. It was the
either?
one thing, and like, there's a piece that I want to read about it, but I was just that was the only thing that I was shocked.
Yeah,
Okay, well, Fee,
yeah.
it was so
Uh,
nice to meet you. Anything else you want to talk
hey,
about? Tell me anything else
you
from this
too.
for the first five that you have to say.
No, I'm sitting. That was me. I don't know if I do get this car situation or do I go to London? Like, what is going on?
I
My
mean,
man is like, no, you need to get this
obviously, we
car.
want you to get a car so you can go to work and stuff. But like, obviously, we're both
Right.
besties, and we want you to come on the trip. So there's a little bit of
That
everything in
part.
here.
That part.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great. I love being a part of this. It's
I love.
nice. It's
This is
like
my
this is my
me
me
time
time. So
too.
I'm
This is
sitting
definitely my
outside,
me.
just
Okay, the
like,
book club is
thinking about it.
irresponsibly telling you to be like, girl, book the flight. Let's go. Book the flight.
No,
Let's go.
I know. I know. You'll probably see me
Okay,
there on the 21st. I'll be like,
we love it. Okay, I have no idea how to X people out of this, so I hope you can X yourself out.
me. No, me neither. Because like I'm
No,
not on this stuff. I'm not on
me
social. I
neither. I
just do
feel
the
like
book
there's some
club stuff.
X, girl. Bye, girl. You're still in here. Okay. Everyone's like, use his car and come with us. Maybe I could offer a study abroad scholarship. I wanted to do that too. I just Mrs. Smith, get your card. Guys, we're also a very supportive and rational book club. So I don't know how I change what filter is on me right now, but I really like it. Okay. I want to talk about Daisy for a minute. And I want to, there's two things that I'm going to talk about. Hold on a second. I got to find the thing. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is where she's leaving. I want to talk about, okay, here. This is the part I want to read, guys, because this was really crazy. So we're talking about Daisy. We're talking about how hard it must have been to leave. How I questioned a little bit, guys, this blue eye thing. I don't know how I got it on, but anyways. How hard it must have been for her to have leave, but also I was really questioning. So now she's on the boat, and this just, when you talk about leaving a baby, and the prologue. I think Ned's on You or someone kept talking about this, but I'm just going to read it. I'm going to do my Daisy voice. I know we're at 9 o'clock. We always go over, but here we go. Dear you, I was desperate to make everything perfect when I left. If you knew how many times I rearranged the quilt around you, tucking and untucking it over and over until I could get that little yellow duck in the corner lined up just so. Even with all my planning, it all came down to this one thing, this one stupid thing. And if I could just get that right, then it would mean it would all be okay. If you guys read this prologue and you talk about like a mother's love, everything about it. Okay, so now you start with the prologue. And then I want you to go to page 91, where she talks about the phantom limb pain. I'm going to read it, okay? She's talking about Rico's. Rico worked on the grandfather's farm, and she said he got his hand, she watched him get his hand cut off. They tried to take that hand back to the emergency room. When they got there, they said, no, they're just going to sew over the stump. Rico didn't like anyone staring. He felt sorry for me, so he let me get away with stuff. He told me that the worst part of it was that sometimes he could still feel the hand. A phantom limb, they called it. He said it was worse than the pain itself, the pain that came and went, but the feeling that something was supposed to be there is what haunted him and just about drove him insane. That's exactly how I felt after leaving you. It was like I had a phantom limb. Someone was supposed to be there and it wasn't. It had been a week and counting and I still kept imagining that I heard you cry. Or I'd wake from a restless nap and could feel a kick in my belly or your weight against my body and swear you'd been there 10 minutes before and not 10 days. I kept looking around expecting you to be in reach until I remembered you were gone. Safe, but gone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Daisy is that country. If I could do more country, you guys, I would. Let me see. I wished I could call Rico and ask him how he made himself forget about his hand, but a month or so after his accident, he just up and disappeared. I always wondered, hoped really, that he went back to Mexico, back to his gordita. At the time, I could only imagine how much they missed each other. Maybe it was for the best that I couldn't reach him. Maybe because I'd be afraid of his answer, that it never goes away. The phantom pain is forever. You guys, no, seriously, the phantom pain thing. And she talks about it so much. She was like, it was there no matter what else I was doing. Every time a car pulled up and I leaned out the window to say, hello, welcome to Magic Kingdom, there'd be $30 for the day. I really wanted to scream, you have no idea what I'm going through. Daisy, 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 Daisy. Now, we say all this. We know she was doing the best she could. And I'm going to actually ask, it was poetic, you guys. I'm going to throw some fire on, I'm going to throw some fire on this right now. And we're going to talk about Lucia. Now, I don't have a good Lucia accent. I'll work on it. But when Lucia is introduced to the baby, I'm going to tell you what Lucia the phantom pain is real, guys. I mean, that was poetic and it was so beautiful. Now, Lucia's reaction, and this is on page 51, and this is how we dive into Daisy and who Daisy is. when Lucia gets there, she meets Cinnamon, and I like Lucia, you guys. I like Lucia. I'm bringing in Lucia. I can't take this filter, but I don't know how to change it. Just bear with me. But anyways, maybe I just gotta bring this closer or something. I don't know. This is what Lucia says. Okay, fine. Okay, so Lucia's a little bit thrown off, right? And I like her a lot. I think she's a great best friend. And I want Cinnamon to have friends, right? I want her to have, and like even when Cinnamon describes her friendship with Lucia, one of the things she really likes, can someone go live and read Lucia's part? I need some like spicy bit of her. Okay, let me try. No, I can't. I just don't know why I can't do it yet. I'll practice a Latino accent. I'm on the fence with this. I like her because you know what it is? I like that Cinnamon has like, you know that expression, like what would Beyonce do or what would this? Like everybody has like their alter ego that they have to put on. Lucia is that real friend. Crystal, that's right. Say it like it is. She's strong. She's that Latina girl that is spicy, was raised with chutzpahs and like whatever. I love that. She is exactly. And I love it. That spicy, she might cut you, but you know what? She will freaking hide a body for you. Lucia will hide a body for you. Okay. But Lucia's response to this is Cinnamon bristles at the YU. Like, why would this girl put her baby with you? Like, I don't understand. You over here thinking like, I tried it, you guys. But I can't. Anyways, she was like, you don't even know this girl's last name. Are you real friends? Like, where did this girl come from? And she was like, I can't believe she just up and abandoned her baby. What kind of monster does that? Okay, not good, guys, but I'll work on it. This is the point that I want to get to. What kind of monster does that? How do you feel about that comment? And I think it hits super, super hard because Cinnamon's response is really tough. Not that Cinnamon didn't have that exact thought, but the question is laced with a harsh bitterness that Cinnamon's never heard from Lucia before. Lucia's also a mother, right? Lucia's a mother. And so not to say that like, and we've talked about motherhood, we've talked about the gamuts of doing what you can do, right? But Cinnamon's response is, ooh, you guys, I want to do another casting for this too, right? Cinnamon's response immediately went to someone like Cinnamon's mother. That's the answer. But Lucia doesn't know that Cinnamon's mother was just as much of a monster. Or maybe monster isn't the right word. Maybe Margot Haynes was just young, dumb, and desperate. The reflex to defend Daisy's actions blurs into a desire to defend her own runaway mother. Y'all, don't you love this stuff about books like this? Where you get into the nitty gritty, where you just realize all the twine and yarn is intertangled into a story because Cinnamon's mother left her. And here we have Daisy doing the best she thinks she can do, the best she thinks that she can do for this baby, and maybe for her so that she can fill out her dreams of being a pilot. Wait a second. Does this remind us of House of Eve, where she was giving up her baby to go live with somebody else? So, this is why I'm loving this book. This is why it's amazing. And this is why there are so many things. So who is the monster? Is Daisy a monster? Is it just hard for Lucia to actually figure out how she could do it? Has Lucia ever had any hardships? Like, we don't know Lucia's background. Yes, guys. Yes, give me the yeses. I'm here for it. I've never seen Meet the Browns, so I don't know who Sophia is. Alicia. Sophia Veraga's character Cheryl. Oh, I don't know. Daisy made, Jen Cliff is saying Daisy made what she thought to be the best choice she had. It's not foster care. It's not back to her racist grandparents. But yes, Evangelista, House of Eve allowed us to ask, like, is this a monster? Yeah. Lynette Ray is saying Cinnamon's mother left her to chase after a man and never came back. And Daisy left Bluebell hoping that she would have a better life. Ooh, T squared. Thank you for saying that. Maybe, T squared said, maybe this is a way of providing Cinnamon a better understanding of what her mom went through, hence realizing that she was abandoning out of love. And I think that's going to be hard for Cinnamon to realize, and maybe that will be the healing for her, because the thing about it is Cinnamon didn't have a good life. right? She didn't know that maybe Cinnamon's mom didn't know that her grandmother was going to die, didn't know that her sister, her aunt, was not going to be the right person to raise her. And that was it. And even Books and Sticks is saying Cinnamon is the only person who ever was nice to Daisy, except for Caleb. All of that, right? Like there was no one else to really even be loved. And again, like you guys were agreeing, like Gigi Nikisa is saying, like she made the best choice. And I think like what's really interesting is because we read House of Eve, this choice seems a little bit better for us. Like we're more understanding, which is why I love to read books with you guys, right? I love that. Okay, I'm going to see what other pieces I wanted to make sure that we could read. The bus ride for Daisy was really tough. I don't know how you guys felt about that. A lot of people have a fantasy. Okay. We talked about Jason. He's kind of annoying. The first couple pages, I'm trying to keep us to at least 9:15, you guys. But if you got more, bring it on. Bring it on. Okay. I'm just checking. Okay. Fascia B joined. Hi, you guys. Welcome. We're talking about You Were Always Mine by Christine Pride and Joe Piazza. Loving this book. We're doing chapters 1 to 5. I just want to see any other things that have come up that you guys totally want to talk about. Do you want to talk about Caleb a little bit? Books and Sticks, what do you mean by Cinnamon's choice? To keep, oh, you're right. I just imagine, I know. Okay, I'm going to say a couple more things about Daisy because the bus ride was tragic. Sitting on that bus, sweating. She's still bleeding out, guys, in that tiny little booth. Her friend Heather that takes her in. She's poor as dirt. You know, it was kind of funny because, and some of you talked about being like just the experience of homelessness on here and how scary it is. And remember when even Cinnamon was talking about just the nice people that helped her at times? And it like makes you have just a certain, I don't know, a heart in wondering like, do we really see homeless people? And it was funny because I spent some time in LA and you know, there's a spectrum of homeless people. There's some that like just honestly you are afraid of because you're worried like maybe there's some mental instability there and you don't know what's going to happen. But then you think about young kids who had forced out of their homes because of all these different reasons and it just makes you have such a different outlook for the things that we cannot see. Okay. Lisa K. Gaby is asking, do we know for sure that the baby is Caleb's? No, we do not. We do not. What we do know is Caleb is a nice boy, and we'll talk more about the men in this book for sure. Lynette Ray brought up Daisy's seatmate, the guy that just sort of talked to her, but Caleb was Daisy's friend that she left town with. Now, Caleb seemed like just the perfect friend. I don't think we know who the baby daddy is at this point. I think you're sort of led to believe it might be Caleb's because they have this huge, very deep friendship. And I thought that Caleb's friendship with her was so beautiful. From the very beginning, this guy was just an empath. He took to her. And, you know, hold on. I also want to tell you, like, Cinnamon in this book is described as being super beautiful, right? It's like one of her traits that we like really get to know. I don't get that about Daisy. I think she's overweight. She's heavy. I don't even know if she has a pretty face because when she talks about her friend Heather and stuff. And so I think she's just, I don't know another way to put it, but like lived this existence of being this sort of like drab white person. Caleb, Miss Yellow Belly is saying he might be gay. I'm not sure. And I don't think we're really saying, yeah, I don't think Daisy's character isn't meant to be attractive. It's not going to be her saving grace. I don't know how to say that without being unkind, but I think we're just, you know, it's a safe space to do this in here. Okay. So that was one thing. And Caleb, I know, guys, I don't know what to say, but I feel like Tola 31 is kind of right. But so Caleb comes around and Caleb's the first person to like talk about her mother, talk about grief and be like, let's go to this place. And, befriend her. She hasn't had any friends. I just think he liked her. And he, was this quirky person that was raised on God, that loved God, and was like, I kind of like that about him because it made me believe his character so much that he was able to like see past that and love other people in a very, very truthful, altruistic way. Um, yeah, and T squared, we can't figure it out yet. And yeah, it is so beautiful. But we don't know. I think Caleb was her angel, and they come in different ways. Caleb's building houses, doing all this. But we certainly loved that. What else? As we go to the end of chapter 5, I just want to say Jason is a dumbass, like leaving the baby. But it's also, one thing I want to say about men is it takes everybody, I think, 9 months to gear up to having a baby, even if through adoption, this, that, and the other. It takes time to figure out. You read the books. It is a really interesting position, I can imagine, to have a baby placed on you over in a minute, right? You don't even know how to prepare your brain for it. So I can understand why he was like, I don't know. I guess I just thought the baby was sleeping and I could go outside and mow on the lawnmower so that you can't even hear a baby cry. Idiot. Idiot. Um, yes, Jason is a child. Jason is definitely a child. Bayesian sugar and spice. I think you're talking about Caleb. Caleb is saying so nice for Daisy to ghost him. I did not like that. I did not like that, but I think we will understand that more will be revealed. Yeah. But here we are. And so far, Cinnamon's kept this baby for about 3 days now, I think. Yeah, I don't think we're there yet. These are going to be. So we're at about 9:15. T squared, you're saying I thought he took her in. Are you talking about Jason taking her in or what? Yeah, Jason is totally a mama's boy. He's like a spoiled mama's boy who found, like, they're actually kind of perfect together, if not at all. Like, I'm not sure. Ooh, Miss Yellowbella, who said that? Miss Yellowbella said, to quote the young famous African, men will leave you in the desert without water. Facts. Facts. Just to clarify, Lynette and T squared, they did both leave their small racist town together. And I think that had a lot to do with it, right? I don't know. I think Caleb is a little gay. That doesn't mean he may or may not be the baby's father. We don't find out in these 5 chapters. So I'm just going to put that out there. That doesn't mean that they might not have had sex and had a baby. I don't know about it. But anyways. Okay. And that's it. They definitely left town together and were doing something. So they sure as heck left town together. Yeah. Okay, Simply Red is saying when Jason finds out the real Cinnamon, he's going to flip. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's a weirdo, but we'll see. Okay, you guys. I want to make sure I got through all our questions. Oh, I do want to say one thing. One thing that made me really, really we supposed to read chapter 5. We were supposed to read till chapter 5. It was chapters 1 through 5, and then we go 6. Chris, what do we do next week? 6 through, let me tell you right now. Next week is 6 through, hold on, I'm pulling it up right now. But my internet doesn't want to work because, I can't tell you right now. Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. 6 through, let's see. Okay, chapter 6 through 9. So we're going slow, guys. It'll give, thank you, Queen Bee. Simply Red. I know you guys can't stop. And so, it's fine if you can't stop. No, not 6 through 18. 6 through 9. Because I know it's summer and we're trying to go slow. But I do want to remind you guys, we're going to have the authors back. So I'm going to write down these questions, so that we can go in deep with them. So how did Daisy not get to be a super uber racist? I want to ask them those things. And we'll be able to just sort of dive into the details. Okay. I love it. Okay, I will save this live, of course. Again, we're going to go live tomorrow at 5 p.m., not 8 p.m., 5 p.m. I'm going to have another Q&A. The bookings for the London trip open up on Friday at noon, if I am not wrong. We will post all those slides in stories and a Q&A so that you guys can, oh, I knew it. I forgot the lipstick downstairs. I knew you guys were going to ask me that. I'll show it to you. How do I change this? This is so weird. Can you see it properly? Okay, there you go. It's actually a very good one because it's not, it like sticks very well. That's all I've got, you guys. This was a great book club. I hope you guys like it. And again, tag me in your posts, either Tanya Time or this, so I can repost. I had such a great night tonight. What else are you guys up to? Okay, it's super matte and very good. I feel like it's a drugstore brand. I will try and show it to you. I think it's a Maybelline in the square thing, but I will tell you. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5. Loved this. I'm so glad that this won our first 50. And we'll be doing many more. So yeah, next week we're doing 6 through 9, July 25th. I will see you here. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll try and just keep doing more of this. What else, you guys? Oh, I want to tell you the TV show that I watched the other day that was so, yep, I think that's it. Maybelline Vinyl or something. I'll try and post the color. Guys, on Netflix, I watched Survival of the Thickest. Oh my gosh, Skylar Sheena, you read my mind, girl. You read my mind. Try not to melt book fast. Guys, oh yeah, tomorrow's gonna be 107 degrees. I not in my she shed, but good night, you guys. Thanks for joining. But I do want to tell you, Survival of the Thickest on Netflix with Michelle something was so funny. Binge it, you guys. It is really good. It is witty. It is funny. It is not cliche. The acting is so good. I really liked it. Like, really loved it. So good. I just watched that and I'm just so sad. I hope it gets come back. She's a brilliant, it's just so good. It's just so good. The other thing that what was the other thing I just was watching? That's it. I binged it all the way too. And I did watch Sex and the City, the reboot season 2. Michelle Boutreau. This girl is so good, you guys. Watch it. Okay, that's all I got. I'll see you tomorrow on live again. All right, you guys. Mwah, 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 mwah. See you. Happy book clubbing. Oh, Evangelista, I honestly think it might be better than Insecure. It's so good. Yes. Okay, you guys. What's excellent fat rep? Oh, I gotta see that. I haven't seen that. Okay. That's all I got, you guys. Bonsoir, and see you in London. Bye.